Hi guys, Gareth here, and welcome to this Venom Plunk production, and welcome to this impromptu video. So I decided to go out for a bit of a walk, because I was feeling under the weather, wanted to get some fresh air, I was coughing my guts out, so fresh air seemed like the best remedy. While I was down where I went, I popped into a Costa. On the way back, there was a charity shop that I popped into. Was in there for about 5 minutes, needed the toilet, went back to Costa, went back to the charity shop and proceeded to then shop around. I initially wanted to get all of these Doctor Who DVDs. So we've got all the seasons 1 and 2 individually like this. Rest in peace, Elizabeth Sladen. And we also have seasons 3 and 4 like this. So long story short, we've got all of Christopher Tennant's and Christopher Eccleston's and David Tennant's Tenor on DVD there, which, if you guys don't know, David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston are my two favourite Doctors of the recent era. As I was taking these up to the counter, one of the staff members came up to me and said, "We've got a bunch more Doctor Who out the back." Went out back, came back, and he went, "Oh, actually, it's Doctor Who." And I was like, okay then, you know. Oh, sorry, he said actually it's Star Trek, it's not Doctor Who. And I was like, okay then, I'd be interested in looking at them all. And this is what he proceeded to put out. In these bags is a good chunk of The Next Generation, all of Deep Space Nine, I think, and we are looking at all of the original series in that. So long story short, they started tallying it all up. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've just got a repeat there, I've just realised. All of the films, all of the, like, classic films, I suppose you'd say. So they started tallying it up, and it comes to over 50 quid. Then the woman who's dealing with me slashes it in half, adds a bit extra, and goes, "We'll give it to you for that." So £25 later, and I've got almost all of Star Trek from the original series up to Deep Space Nine and one season of Voyager. And just bloody hell is all I've got to say. This is one mega haul. I want to start going through this and ascertaining what exactly is I've got. And then I'll come back to you guys a bit later and talk through some more of this, because this is a colossal collection, or a colossal amount of stuff I just got for, in comparison, not a lot of money. So I'll get back to you guys when I've looked through a significant amount of all of this. So I've just been through all of it, and we've got all of the seasons apart season 2 of The Next Generation, all of the original series. We've got all of the classic films, including Generations, which is a crossover between the original series and Next Generation. We have all of Deep Space Nine, all 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine. I'm pretty damn certain, though I can't find it, there was a random season of Voyager. Now, looking at this set, this person was a proper Trekkie. And the reason why I know they were a proper Trekkie is because I'm going to fathom a guess that, and of course, we've got Doctor Who down there as well, all seasons up until season 4. The reason why I know they're a proper Trekkie is because among the Trekkie community, the films after Generations and Voyager, from Voyager onwards, most Trekkies don't like. Most Trekkies don't like Voyager, and most Trekkies don't like the films past Generations. There are some Trekkies who don't even like Generations. Most people think it's an interesting passing of the torch type film, but most Trekkies don't like it. But they do like the actual series of The Next Generation, because it is, in some people's eyes, better than the original series, but I'm not going to get into that debate right here, right now. Random Turtles van in the background. Anyway, yeah, so I'm, to be honest, about to go on eBay and see if I can find season 2 of The Next Generation for not a bad price. But bloody hell. I may go away and come back later on and calculate how much of a saving I've just made. I'm going to go to different places. I'm going to go to CEX. I'm going to eBay. I'm going to look at how much these would have cost RRP. Well, I know how much these all cost RRP. These were 70 quid a set back in the day. Even more than that, depending on where you got them from. Some places, they're over £100 a set. But that's, back in the day. Those I know for a fact are £120 to £100 per set, because they were like super deluxe sets. They were out of print for a long, long time, and they garnered collector's prices for a long, long time. So we've got 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine, 6 seasons of Star Trek, 7 films. Yeah, 7 films? Yeah, 7 films. I've got a couple of repeats there, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest. And all of those are the special editions of each of the films. I've easily paid, £1? A pound per thing here, because we got a bunch of Doctor Who stuff there. By the way, yes it is. We still have our Christmas tree up. It's currently Sunday the 30th of December, if you're wondering. Bloody hell. I'm kind of shocked about the deal I've just got on all of that. If I can actually show you the receipt. I kind of want to... Yeah, I want to sort of hide some components of that. Yeah, if I can actually just do that, I can show you that I paid... Oh, I paid that for all of that. £21.97 for all of this. Yeah, I'm going to go away and do some calculations and work out how much of a saving I just made, because flipping heck. Yeah, whoever had all of this stuff was a proper Trekkie, because they don't have anything that I know a proper hardcore Trekkie wouldn't have. They don't have Voyager, they don't have anything past generations. Yeah, this person was a hardcore Trekkie. I wonder if the Doctor Who was even them, because this was definitely a sci-fi geek nerd or fan of some description. Anyway, I'm going to go away and I'm going to try and look at how much this all just saved me. Hi guys, back for another edition in this little series that I'm doing. So I've been going through all of these sets, and I can confirm that all of the original series and the Next Generation and all of these DVDs here of the films all came from the same person. Long story short, obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's an invoice in one of those sets. In fact, in a couple of those sets, there's a couple of invoices that's the same address, the same person. Somebody in London, actually, believe it or not, ordered all of this piecemeal. Basically, the irony of it is the invoice that's in one of these sets actually is for season 2, whereas I don't have season 2 in this pile. It's probably, to be honest, in that charity shop somewhere. I may go back and see if they got that season. I may not. To be honest, I've got a cracking deal. Ordered this anyway, so I'm just going to look for season 2 online. It's a bit of a shame that I don't have this particular person's complete collection, but at the end of the day, things are sold separately, things get lost. At the end of the day, it's a charity shop. I don't know how much cataloguing or logging they actually do. It may have gone missing, it may have been bought by a staff member, any of that could have happened, but it's just one of those things. All of the Next Generation and the original series and these films here are all immaculate. They are in great condition and have been very well looked after. That's funny. It's actually quite funny, because when I bought my sets off eBay a little while ago, so a bit of context, I did have all of these sets at one point, but I sold them in order to facilitate me getting some money and what have you. But they've all been immaculately looked after. The ones I had were a bit dog-eared, a bit rugged around the edges. But all of these are fantastically well looked after, are in immaculate condition. I've said that 3 or 4 times now. As the same with this Deep Space Nine set, these are actually all come from a different individual. Again, there's an invoice in one of these sets that suggests these are from somebody locally. Again, I'm not going to reveal that information on camera, but they are from somebody locally, and somebody again bought these piecemeal. But what it does tell me is each of these sets were 40 quid a piece back in 2006, and there were 7 seasons there. So yeah, that's a lot of money spent there. And of course I have the Doctor Who sets. Just a bit of interesting information though, if we look on the back and we see here each of these different individual volumes of Doctor Who were going for 99p a piece. Essentially she gave me all of these individual ones for practically nothing, if I'm being completely honest. Anyway, so 99p a piece, but if we see over here it says 2011. Now this, of course, came out in 2006. Now, this makes me wonder if that particular charity shop, or that particular charity shop chain, Age UK, has been sitting on these for quite some time, 7 years to be in fact, which kind of lends me to start to understand why they did a deal with me. Because I'm not being funny, but even for a charity shop, I got a bloody cracking deal here, and how willing they were to do a deal with me. I mean, she did say to me at one point when I said, "Are you sure?" She did say to me, "You are actually saving us time and effort from having to price these all up and put them on a shop, and they would have taken a lot longer to sell had I not come along and hoovered them all up." But nonetheless, you know, I mean, they sell each of these for $3.99 a piece. Just minimum, you know, and I'm still flabbergasted how on earth I managed to do this. But I've never haggled in my life. I've never gotten a deal like this in my life. You know, I watch the Game Chasers on YouTube. I watch people who haggle, go to flea markets, go to car boots and haggle and get deals on things. I've never done this in my life. Bloody hell, I have to say it's addicting. It makes me want to go back out and try it elsewhere, but obviously there's only so much your luck can spread, so to speak. But I'm not even... I was actually in the middle of YouTubing these sets to see if I actually got them complete. They are completely complete. And I was in the process of actually pricing up everything to see how much of a deal I actually got with all of this. I'm going to go away and continue doing that, and then I'll probably do one final part to this video, and I'll wrap it up. Hi guys, so it's actually been a couple days since I recorded those first couple of parts for that whole collection, that whole charity shop haul I just showed off. And I did a bit of research, so to speak, and going by CEX prices, all of the Next Generation and all of Deep Space Nine will cost 40 quid a piece. So that's 80 quid already. Doctor Who easily would have cost, what, 30, 40 quid for those seasons. And then you've got all the films for Star Trek. So you're easily looking at over £100 worth of stuff there if you were to go elsewhere and buy it piecemeal, or you were to buy it bulk elsewhere. If you were going by the recommended retail price of when all of that was released, you're looking at 40 quid a set for both Deep Space Nine and for Star Trek The Next Generation. I didn't even include the original series in that, and that was easily between £30 a box set if you buy them second hand, because they're now kind of rare and kind of sought after for reasons I'll get to momentarily. But if you wanted to buy those when they first came out, they were £120 a piece. Because I remember them being that kind of price. Because at the time I was at school, I do believe. or just coming up to college, didn't have a job. I was thinking, how on earth can people afford £120 per DVD box set? Of course, this was back when DVD was... Blu-ray wasn't a thing, or Blu-ray was literally going to be just on the horizon or something. Blu-ray was still in its infancy, and everything that had previously been released on video was coming to DVD. So it was stupidly expensive, and they were easily £120 per set. And I know people who bought those sets back in the day. We had a family friend, I suppose you could call them back in the day, that bought those sets at £120 a piece. So that is a cracking deal I got there. It's funny because I kind of forgot some of the things I did over Christmas. I also bought Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sins, which is basically an HD upgrade of Dark Souls 2. And when my wages went in on Monday, and I sort of did all my calculations, I was thinking, why am I £40 lower than I thought I was going to be? Now, nothing's a problem. I have plenty of money, don't get me wrong. It's just that I was sort of there thinking, why am I £40 lower than I thought I was going to be? And then the penny dropped, and I was like, oh yeah, I bought Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, and I bought all those Star Trek DVDs. So, yep, that makes somewhat sense why I would be, have £40 less than I was expecting. But anyway, it's all good. I'm actually, a couple of days, as I said, removed from doing those two parts. So, long story short, I think I'm going to have a rather relaxed month when it comes to spending money. Because I need to be perfectly honest with you, for reasons I'm not going to go to, especially into, but let's just say that February, March and April are looking, or February, March especially, but February, March and April are looking a bit, how can I put this? Yeah, I'm going to have to scale back on a few things and, do a few things here and there just to keep myself going. But then that's how these things work. It is now 2019 as I record this particular part, and there are some things I have to talk about in 2019. Depending on when you see this, you may have already seen my 2019 video. You may not have seen already my New Year's resolutions and sort of where this channel was going, depending on when I upload different things. But I'm not going to talk about them in this video because obviously I have a dedicated video about that. Anyway, I just wanted to do this little addendum to sort of let you know the kind of saving I made and all that kind of stuff. And I have to say, it's kind of got me in the whole charity shop or thrifting mood, to be honest. But we'll see where things go in the future. But I think I've got more than enough stuff with, Star Trek, the original series, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine. I've got, Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray. I've got the Alex Ross Universal Monsters Steelbook collection. I think I've got enough stuff, plus I've got all the other stuff that I haven't even began to watch yet. So I've got a lot of stuff to keep me going. And one of my New Year's resolutions, which I have spoken about in a video already, is watching less YouTube. And I think with all the stuff, I've gotten recently, I think that's going to be a much easier task with all the stuff I've got. Anyway, guys, you know the spiel. Like, dislike, subscribe, hit the bell icon, make sure the quotations are around it, and you receive a notification to your device of choice. And until next time, guys, please take care. Have a fantastic 2019, if I haven't yet said that about 3 or 4 times already in some other videos I'm going to be doing later on. But, there's never, how can I put this? There's never a wrong time to tell someone that to have a good time or to keep safe or any of those positive things. And that's definitely something I'm taking into 2019, is being a lot more positive about things. Anyway, guys, you take care. Have a fantastic 2019, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra, guys.